Welcome, students, to the brief lecture about understanding your reflection paper. Your reflection paper will be due next week, and this audio tour will take you through the assignment, the instructions, and help you understand better how to do it. The first thing you know is that everything you're going to see is located in the assignments folder on the course materials page. By now, you should be familiar with this page because you've been clicking on it to get into the course modules. But there is a folder called Assignments, and in that folder will be all of the major assignment instructions and submission links. I don't put them in the module folders because then you have to try to remember what week each assignment was in. Instead, you can always go to the assignments folder for the major assignments in the course, not for the modular, smaller assignments each week. So if you click on that folder, you'll see what comes next. In that folder, you'll see the list of assignments, and the top one, these are put in order, so the top one, the first major assignment, is the folder for the reflection paper. And it's due June 16th. It's worth 15% of your grade. You'll click on that folder and open it up. Once you open up the reflection paper folder, you'll see two things: a set of instructions and grading rubric, and then the submission link where you submit your final paper. If you open up the instructions and look at it, you'll see the document that we're going to be stepping through over the next few minutes. As I said, it's due June 16th, worth 15% of your grade, and it's really meant to be a personal reflection where you think back on your own school experiences. Now, you might ask, why does this instructor want me to do this? Well, it's by thinking back from our own time as students in school that we can begin to understand how those experiences shape the type of teachers we might become in the classroom, either in a good way or in a bad way. If it's in a good way, you obviously want to draw upon your past and think about what it's going to do for you and help you become a better teacher and how to do that. If it's in a bad way, at least you need to be aware of it so that you can avoid pitfalls that you might have going into the classroom. So the step one is to reflect on your past educational experiences. Think about those important things that happened to you. Did you have things that stuck in your mind, either good or bad? And maybe you want to start to make a little bulleted list of the things that you remember from your own days as a student. There are quite a few questions or prompts that will help you think about these experiences, and these are listed in the instructions. It's important to think about these, but if there's a particular incident, experience, or relationship that doesn't quite fit into these prompts, you should also include that. You don't have to write something for all of these prompts, but these are just to help prime the pump and get you started thinking about your experiences. So, for example, think about aspects of the school setting. Were there things about the building or the classroom design, the art, the playground, the playing fields that shaped how you felt about school? Was it clean and well maintained? Were things in proper working order? So these are the kinds of things you're going to think about in terms of school setting. In terms of multiculturalism, did you identify with a particular cultural or ethnic group? Did you feel like you belonged? Did you feel welcome? Were there traditions that excluded your ethnic or cultural group or that made you feel included? So these are some of the questions you're going to think about in terms of your multicultural identity. Think about your relationship with teachers, librarians, counselors, administrators. Were there people that had a positive or negative influence on you? And why was this person so influential? Did they have certain traits or qualities you want to emulate or copy? Or maybe things you thought, oh, I would never be that kind of teacher. Think about your school curricula and teaching methods. What kinds of ways did teachers teach you? Was it primarily through lecture? Did you get some hands-on experiences? For example, I'll never forget my ninth grade biology lab where I got to do some dissections and what an impact that made on me and led to a lifelong interest in biology. Before that, science had been taught primarily using a textbook, and so I wasn't as interested. So think about the curricula and teaching methods. Once you have thought about and made notes on all your previous experiences, reflect on the type of teacher you want to become. Try to imagine yourself 5 years in the future as a new teacher. Describe what that teacher's like. So what kinds of teaching activities will you be doing with students? How you relate to students and to your colleagues, your fellow teachers and your administrators. How do you relate to students' parents? How do you want people to see you? Once you've done that, you've thought about the past and you've thought about the future, connect them. How will your past shape your future teaching in the classroom? How might you avoid bringing the trap of negative experiences into the classroom? And how might you use your positive experiences to shape your positive outcomes? Once you have these sections clearly in your mind, begin to write. Write a 2 to 3 page double-spaced paper. It's okay if it's a little bit over that. Use an APA appropriate writing skills in this paper. So you're going to be doing a little activity in the module called 12 Little Rules of Writing, and that will help you understand some of how to write using APA. But be sure to proof your paper, because I will be looking at your paper as a preliminary assessment of your writing skills and APA knowledge. If your writing is very weak, I might ask you to refer yourself to the Writing Center. This assignment will be the precursor to your next assignment, which is a larger paper, and it's the personal philosophy paper. You'll also see in that same document a grading rubric. So you can actually put your grading rubric down after you write your paper and score your paper. Or you can use it to write the paper as you go along. I tell students it's helpful to have the grading rubric right there so you can see, are you doing the necessary steps? Are you describing fully your previous experiences? Are you describing fully the type of teacher you want to become? Are you describing fully the past to the future? Is your grammar, spelling, and APA all okay? This is a rubric, and you can see how much each component of the rubric is worth. 4 points, 3 points, 2 points. And you can see, if you look at the full rubric, that I do weight content more heavily than I do writing, spelling, and APA. But it's still there. Once you have written your paper and saved it to your computer, submit it using the link in the folder that we looked at previously, in the assignments reflection paper folder. It's important to note that this assignment may be revised and resubmitted up to a week after it's graded. So what will happen is I will make comments on it. I will give you a grade. If you're not happy with your grade, open the document, read my comments, revise your paper. Please, please, please leave the comments in place, because if you delete them, I'm going to have to send your paper back and say, please resubmit with the comments. If you make changes, like if you add text, it's helpful to add them in another color like red, or highlight them in some way so I know what your changes are. Save your paper, your revised paper, and then resubmit it using the same link. I will rescore your paper, and most likely you'll wind up with a higher grade. You'll never wind up with a lower grade. I don't lower grades if you revise and resubmit. If life is just too much right now, this paper may be submitted, like most major assignments in the course, up to a week late with a 10% point penalty. Unlike some instructors, I don't ask for a doctor's excuse or a note. I just say I'm taking 10% no matter what. what it is. I feel like that's a fair penalty no matter what's happened, and you have the option to do that, except with the fieldwork paper, for all assignments in this course with a 10% point penalty. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at nhalberner@mercy.edu. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.